Okay, so I have a few things to go over. I'll try to make this quick, 5 minutes or less, but it's very helpful, I promise. Um, okay, so you're going to do a graded markup and reformat of a response that you submitted during week 2. If we've already done that for a grade, then you should go back to any previous attempts that I might have graded and giving you feedback on. What you want to do is, like Michael Jordan, learn from your mistakes so that you can become more successful. One of my mottos is fueled by failure, driven by success. When you're fueled by failure, you can become more successful because you learn to avoid mistakes and grow from that. Michael Jordan says that he's successful because he has failed so many times. So you're going to notice that some of you did really great, and I didn't have much to say, but some of you had tons of issues in your might have had tons of issues in any markup and reformatting we might have done at this point of the semester. So have a positive growth mindset. Remember, when I'm grading, really I'm like a coach, and my coach is to give you honest feedback about your performance on the field of philosophy, okay, in the arena of philosophical gladiatorship. And so that's what my job is, and that's what I've done. So go through those mistakes, note them, and make sure that before you submit this assignment that you've done your best to not make the same kinds of mistakes should you happen to have a lot of them or any. The next thing I want to say is that the other thing, of course, that you want to do is you want to recall all of the intellectual virtues. You want to reflect the character traits of good thinkers, learners, and communicators in doing this task or any task for this class. But I just like to remind you of that. And part of that will be to be intellectually thorough and perseverant. That means go back to your master document for all of the notes about argument stuff, your master document, any handouts about complex and simple arguments. Look at all the notes, read everything, actually read through it. Don't just scan it, read it. Look at all of the examples. Look at all the examples of stuff that we marked out. Look at all the stuff. Look at all the examples of the reformatting that was done. Look at all the examples of the patterns and the diagrams. Make sure that you have a clear, accurate, and precise memory or understanding of those things that you will be applying soon. The final thing that I want to end this video with is that I have discovered or come up with, in conjunction with students or speaking to them or observing, now 3 strategies. Or, well, I don't want to say that the strategies, each one themselves, are my invention, but there's the conception that there are 3 strategies is something that I've come up with in terms of how you make the best use of any videos that I do when you are about to mark up and reformat one of your own arguments or anyone's for that matter, but in the context of this class. And that is that, of course, in the next video, I'm going to give you a refresher and reminder on how to find your week 2 response, copy and paste it, how to mark it up using the online editing tools. I'm going to talk about extra credit. I'm also going to I'm going to provide you with warning and tips. I'm going to provide details on mistakes that people made during a previous attempt, or I might do that if we've already had if the semester you've already submitted, or the class has already submitted markup and reformat, then in this next video that's in the same task, I will be bringing up some mistakes that I saw and why, and pointing them out to you. Could be your mistake, so it'd be great for you to get more insight through the video. Now, that said, I am not lecturing in the video that is about to come. The assumption is that you already know how to do that stuff. You're mastering it, at least. You're developing your competency. I'm just doing a refresher, a quick review, applying, demonstrating, warning, reminding, iterating, but I'm not teaching it anymore. So that said, here are 3 ways to work through the video with the new example, okay, of how to do this stuff online. But the example is also there for a refresher on how to apply the stuff. And the example is based on the same topic, okay, that you guys are going to be focusing on with respect to your week 2 prompt. One is, well, first of all, this is not a strategy. Watch the video. It's worth it. So then the first strategy is to watch the video and then do your markup, okay? So that's okay. That's a little bit kind of passive, though. I'm your coach. I'm just being direct and honest. Okay, so second strategy, very good strategy. download or copy and paste the argument that I'm going to be using. It's directly below the link to this video. It's in Word. So you can copy and paste it, and actually can just open it up in Word and mark up online, okay? So then what you could do is one strategy is you could try to totally mark up, reformat, do the pattern in the diagram for that demonstration example argument on your own, and then follow the video to see what mistakes you made. So that's a more active strategy to trigger, recall, assess your ability to use concepts, tools, definitions. And of course, this is not a test, so you should be looking at your notes and examples and the feedback that I've given you. Okay, actually I might have 4 strategies. A third strategy is to do it more in an interactive coaching way. So for example, when I say, okay guys, what are we going to first do with this markup, with this ordinary argument? Well, then you respond, you say, oh yes, Dr. C, we're going to bracket and number the statements. And then you pause the video before I do it and you try it on your own, just that, just the bracketing and the numbering. Then you resume the video when you're ready to go over the answer with me, okay? So then what you can do is for each step or phase of the markup and or format, pattern presentation, diagram construction, you can simply pause the video right before I'm about to do that part and then check your answer. That is a really good strategy, guys. Now, here's another one, and I think this one is the best. I could be wrong because I've never experienced it from the standpoint of a student, but I really, really, really encourage you guys to try this. What you could do is you could do exactly what I've told you, okay? So you bracket and number, so you go in steps, right? So you say, okay, I'm going to bracket and number, then I'm going to see what the answer is. All right, so then after you bracket and number, and then after you watch the segment of the video that goes over the answer for bracketing and numbering for our demonstration argument, for our refresher argument, what you do then is you go and bracket and number the statements in the argument that you're going to mark up for a grade. I mean, think about it. Not only do you get to practice applying to an example or an argument that you're not getting graded on, but you get the correct answer for that, and you have stimulated all of those cells and neurological pathways. They are now awake and in effect, and if any corrections needed to be made, we are more aware, right, of where our knowledge is. And so then bracket and number your own. I would love to know if you did this. I might even give you extra credit. Send me an email if you actually followed this strategy for each step, where you tried something on your own, got the correct answer from the video, and then did your part of the argument. Did you do it? And then break it down for me. Did that help? Did that not help? Did you catch mistakes? Did you feel more confident about your answer? Okay. All right. So now, so then, of course, then what would you do? So you bracket and number the statements in your own argument. Then you go back to the video, and then in the video you're going to say, I'm going to say, what do we do next, guys? And you're going to say, oh, we label premises and conclusions. So then before you continue to watch the video, pause it, okay? This is lasting longer than 5 minutes because I have great tips, I think. Pause it. Go and try to label the premises and the conclusion in the demonstration argument, the one that is no stress because you're not doing that for a grade. You get to practice. Michael Jordan would approve of this, by the way. Michael Jordan says you've got to practice, you've got to work hard. So come on, let's be like Michael Jordan. Even if you don't want to be like a philosopher, even if you don't want to be like Dr. Krillo. How about Michael Jordan? Greatest basketball player of all time. So some say. I think he was a pretty good baseball player too. Anyway, so then you check your answers with the grade-free demonstration refresher argument, right? And you look at any mistakes you made, get insights, blah, blah, blah. You see what the correct answer is. And then you do what with this strategy? Then you go and label the premises and the conclusion in your own argument. Remembering, of course, that while 90 to 95% of what I say about the argument that I'm using as a refresher, as a demonstration in the next video, applies to the argument that you will be working with, there might be 5 to 1% that doesn't apply. It's going to depend on what kind of an argument you have, how good you were in making sure you actually gave reasons in support of a conclusion, and other things. All right, so that's all I have for this part of task 1 and the video instruction.